of you I haven't met yet, Carol Adams-Shearer is my name. For those of you whose faces I've seen, I'm so glad to see your faces again. And hopefully today won't be the last time that I see you. So we're going to be talking about the career fair today. I'm assuming if you're here, you will be there, right? If you'll be there, just clap. Okay, so we do have people who are going to watch via the internet. And so I would like to encourage you to be as interactive with this presentation as possible, because they're not here to ask any questions themselves. But oftentimes, if you have a question, somebody else will have a similar question. So since you all are here, as I'm speaking and you have questions, please feel free to ask them, because that will help other people who aren't here. We got that one? Thumbs up? Fantastic. Okay, so let's get going. Do we have all criminal justice people, or do we have some people criminal justice and some people not? If you are criminal justice, raise your hand. Okay, looks like we got, if you're not criminal justice, raise your hand. Okay, so we have majority criminal justice people and a few people who are not. All right, doesn't matter, because all of the information is relevant regardless of what your major is, because we're talking about career fairs in general. We have a career fair going on today, and we'll have one going on very soon, more targeted to our CJ people. So let's get going on with it. Okay, how does a career fair help? I'll get that from people who oftentimes are not seniors. Anybody in here not a senior? Okay, so if you're not a senior and you're gonna go to the career fair, that is awesome. Why? Because you get more practice than the people who have waited till they're seniors to start doing this type of thing. So if you want a job when you graduate, how many people is that relevant to? Probably everybody. So if you want a job when you graduate, the better you are at how you speak to an employer, the better chance you have in actually becoming hired by the employer. All right? And so how do you get good at doing that thing? Practice. The more you do it, the better you are at it, and the more natural it sounds. So some people will go into an interview or something like that, and they'll sound rehearsed. Or, oh, if I forgot what I was gonna say, then I'm stuck. We don't want that to be you. We want you to come off as if you are a professional, and that's what you're here for. You're here to transition into becoming a professional at whatever you do. And so part of that is being able to own it and communicate with people like it's a true thing. Because even if you don't have as much confidence in yourself today as you would like, you can develop that. And that's part of why I'm here, and that's part of why a lot of the programming that we have here is so that you can start to actually believe the stuff that you're saying. So how many people have a resume? Okay, did anybody, don't answer this, but did anybody put any untruths on your resume? Or stuff that's on your resume that you're not that good at talking about? First of all, we don't want you to put any untruths on the resume, because you all are going in a criminal justice field, and if any employer finds out that you put an untruth on a resume, then that's grounds to fire you, okay? So we want you to talk the talk, walk the walk, look the part, be that 100% total package. When you walk in the door, they say, hey, I want to talk to that person. Just like when you walk in the door and you see certain individuals, you're saying to yourself, hey, I want to talk to that person. When you go to the career fair, you're going to see certain employers, you're going to say to yourself, I want to talk to them. You want them to be saying that about you. The job search process is a two-way process. It's not just the employer who's looking. It should also be you who's looking and you who's evaluating, hey, is this a good fit for me or not? Because just because someone offers a job, that doesn't mean it's the best job for you to take. You do have options. That's part of why you're in college, so that you can have more options. We're all on the same page on that. Okay, so why do you go to the career fair? For the practice, to help prepare you. There's real life after college, the real life where you get a job and start adulting, that kind of thing. So the more you practice to prepare for that, the better. So how does the career fair help you get a job? Well, it's going to give you the practice I talked to you about. How do you talk to other professional people? You're going to actually go up and you're going to actually talk to professionals in the industries that you're interested in. Employers are going to get to know. So people who are not seniors, if you go to career fair every year, they're going to get to know you. And they're going to be wondering, okay, are you graduating yet? Because some of them will be waiting for you to say yes, so that they can tell you how to follow through, or so that they can tell you about something that's come open. We've had a number of SAM students that have been informed about employment opportunities that are not posted anywhere. That's happened a few times with people I know who were asked to interview for the FBI. And I know we get a lot of people from SAM who say they want to work for the FBI, but a lot of jobs out there are not actually posted. How do people find out about them? Networking. And that's what a career fair is. It is a professional networking event designed for you to get to meet people in the profession and for them to meet you. Okay, it gives you a chance to do what I just said, practice. When you network, it's kind of like a mini interview. So you get to practice stuff that you would say in an interview, so that when it's time to say it in an interview, it comes off real easily. That question that you get in almost every interview, so tell me about yourself. That's a real question that you'll get in real interviews, that you need to be able to answer. Okay? All right. Learning about job and internship possibilities. I don't know how many people I've had in my office in the past couple of weeks wanting to know about internship opportunities. Well, instead of coming to my office and asking me, it's even better if you can go directly to the source, isn't it? So that's part of what you're going to do at the career fair. If you're interested in getting an internship, one of the things you're going to ask those employers, hey, do you all do internships? Some of them will say something like, well, we haven't in the past. So if they start kind of hesitating, then you ask, well, would you consider? Because that means they don't have a long line of folks because maybe we used to. So sometimes you can be the first one. Don't have to compete with anybody. I've done internships that way, contacted people and say, hey, would you consider mentoring me? Or would you consider allowing me to do an internship under you? You can do that at the career fair. That's the place where you can start talking about that. And if they can't, they might tell you someone who you should contact. That's how networking works. Find out what skills and experience the employers desire. So, say you want to work for blah, blah police department. Well, some police departments require a college degree. Some police departments do not. So in that case, you want to know for sure which ones are the ones that do, in case you're considering maybe skipping out on us or something. We hope you're not considering that. But that's a piece that you want to know. Or some, well, you have to have experience doing this. I get a lot of people who want to be crime scene investigators or crime scene techs and things like that. Well, the deal with those is those jobs aren't as plentiful as some other jobs, and they're going to be looking for somebody who preferably has some experience. If you've ever looked for a job at all, has everybody in here looked for a job? Okay, so don't you see most employers that post will say they want some what? Experience. And when you're first getting out of college, sometimes that seems like a catch-22. Well, how am I going to get the experience and I just graduated from college? Internships, awesome. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to graduate without one. That's why you want to start investigating now. Where could I do an internship that I think I'd like to do an internship? We're going to do a seminar like this one just about internships on Monday, okay? So if you get a chance to come back, we're going to specifically be talking about internships. So you want to know, hey, if there's some kind of experience or some kind of skill that I don't have now, that I could have by the time I graduate, that's the stuff you want to know. And that's why you want to ask employers about what are some of the requirements, what are some of the things that they're looking for in candidates, so that you can start working on that stuff now, so that by the time you graduate, you actually would have attained that. Get business cards. Why do you want to do that? Yeah. Yes. That's why you want to get the business cards. Because going to the career fair is going to require some follow through. Or if you're not graduating yet, going back to those people, but this is true for whether you're graduating now or not. People who are graduating right now, you really need those cards. Because when you're applying for jobs, you're going to want to apply for jobs, not a singular job. Especially if you're graduating, don't you want to get employed as soon after graduation as possible? So you start applying now. Don't wait till you graduate. But for those of you who are not graduating and you might not qualify yet, get those cards and you ask the recruiter a question. What is the question? Okay. You can ask them that. Yeah, you can ask them that. When you get their card, what are you going to ask them? Come on. I know somebody knows. Yes.
I would just say, like, when's the best time to reach you?
You could say something like that, yes. Is it okay if I call you? And if so, when? Yes. You want to ask that question. And then on the back of that business card, when you get it, you're going to put that down so that you actually do it when they said to do it. Okay? Very good, everybody. Let's keep going. All right, so we're going to break this up into 3 sections. What do you do before the career fair? What do you do during the career fair? What do you do after the career fair? All right, so let's look at what do you do before the career fair. Before you go, get your wardrobe together. So what does that mean? I love you all, and everybody in here looks great. But what am I going to say next?
Don't dress how we're dressed right now.
Exactly. Don't show up to the career fair like you look right now, because that irritates the employers. They don't like it. Why do you think they don't like it? It's not professional. You didn't put any effort into it. Yes, professionalism is a thing. It's a real thing. And they're not going to come here looking any sort of way. And so if you want to be taken seriously, this is a first impression moment. Are you trying to impress the recruiters? Of course you are. Are you trying to be remembered as long as you can be? Yes, you are. And so part of how that happens is, what's that first impression like when they see you? Because remember, you're going to do the total package thing. head to toe. You're going to look the look, walk the walk, talk the talk. All right. So these are some tips on what you should do in terms of preparing how you look when you go. You're going to select professional attire. So there's a such thing as professional. There's a such a thing as professional, casual. And then there's casual. And then there's, I'm just not at work. This is my weekend look or whatever. And then there's the date look, okay? So now, which look are we going for at the career fair? Professional or professional casual at a career fair can slide. If you can't do any better, it can slide. But don't go below the professional casual look. So these looks on the slide, those are all professional and professional casual. Can you all tell the difference in the two? Okay, who's somebody up there that's in professional casual? Which one?
The ladies at the bottom, no blazer, just the blouse and skirt, or pants shirt.
Very good. The ladies at the bottom. What about the guys? Yeah.
The center left dude in the bottom left picture.
Center, is that the guy with the blue shirt?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the guy with the blue shirt. Actually, both the guys with the blue shirts. So you see the other guy with the blue shirt who has on a tie? He's still professional casual. So that's the more, if you got to go to the career fair with a no jacket, guys, that's more of the one you want to go with. He's more professional casual. This guy over here is professional casual, but bordering on casual. He doesn't have a tie on. All right. And then we have a variety of women in that other box who are professional standard. All right, now let's talk about makeup, accessories, and facial hair. Makeup, should you wear some?
Yes.
Yes, very good. I thought that was going to be a trick question, but everybody stayed with me. All right, yes, you want to wear some. If you don't normally wear makeup, should you experiment? No, this is not the time. So you know how you go on Instagram or any other social media platforms and you see all these really exotic makeup looks with all the wonderful eye colors. This isn't the time to play with that, especially if you never did it. All right? What kind of makeup should you wear?
Like a white, natural makeup.
Yeah, you want it to be kind of natural looking, but you still want to look finished. So what does that mean? Do you have to wear foundation? Depends on your complexion. If your complexion needs a little foundation, to kind of smooth it out or something like that, then do that. But if you don't own any foundation, you might not be comfortable playing with that. You might want to just maybe get a little bit of finishing powder and, dust that, or a bronzer or something like that. Dust it on or something. But you do want to do something with the lips. What? Yeah, it could be lipstick. Yeah, thank you, Veronica. It could be a neutral, it could be like a tinted lip gloss if you don't wear makeup at all. It could be a tinted lip gloss. It could be a color that's not, it's not, so now we got really vibrant lip colors. We got some real vibrant ones where we can see some people's lips coming before we can distinguish the rest of the features on their face. We don't want that kind, okay? What about the eyes? If you're not an eye person with terms of makeup, what could you do with the eyes? Yes, whoever said that, mascara. Mascara will help pop your eye, help it look finished, tinted lip gloss, then your face looks finished. What kind of accessories should you wear? What does minimal look like?
Like stud earrings, like nothing like too dangly and bright. Just something
Good, good. Do you have one on?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Who's got on stud? Okay, stand up and turn around for me. She's just going to show us her minimalistic ear accessory. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Great job. Another person here. Yep. Can we see your studs? Okay. Nice, simple, elegant, not too much. Don't go more than what I've got. Okay? Don't go more than that. If you're a hoop wearer, then, don't go for the hoop, Make it, the little smaller hoop. All right, good. Okay, women, we're doing good with the makeup, accessories, identify the clothes. What about the hair? Yeah, okay, so when you're engaging with an employer, do you have to put it in a bun or something like that? No, you don't have to, But do you want them to be able to focus on your face? Yeah, so you might do something like, I'm gonna use you again. Okay, so could you stand up and turn around? Okay, so the hair is pulled back, we can still focus on the face. All right, that's perfectly fine. Veronica's hair is pulled back, but you can have somebody stand up. You can have someone whose hair is down, but still very professional looking. Okay, that's the key, is you just want it to look that polished look, whether it's up or whether it's down. Okay, you don't want the hair to be so, we'll say striking. So striking that that's all we look at. Now, guys in the hair, let's talk about you for a second. What tips do we have for men? What should their hair look like, men? Don't all speak up at once. Yeah. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, you want it to look like you put some effort. That's basically what you're saying, right? Yeah, you want it to be obvious that you put some effort in it, okay? If, you have the hair that's long enough for a man bun, what do you do with that hair? Pull it back, okay? Pull it back. What if you have facial hair? Yeah.
Just look at the hair, keep it neat in some way.
We're on the right track, yes. We're definitely on the right track.
You don't want it to look too just unkept.
Right, so we don't want the 5 o'clock shadow look. You know what I'm talking about with that? We don't want that. Or the trend in Hollywood these days. So, you'll turn on the movies or the TV, and you'll see all the little cops and the detectives and the male leads, and they have this kind of, okay, is he growing a beard or is he not kind of look? That's not what you want to wear to an interview, a networking event, If you got the facial hair, you want it to be on point. Go to somebody who can really line that up and let them line it up so it looks precise, precision. Like you take pride in your appearance and you can wear that beard and you can own it, but it looks, some guys will make you do a double take because the beard is looking so good. Some guys can make you do a double take because the beard is looking so bad. Okay? So you want to be the first kind of guy with the facial hair, okay? All right, scents, men and women. If you like scents, don't have the kind that you walk past the recruiter's table and they can still smell your scent Well, before you ever got to the table, and then they're still smelling it, I don't know how many people they've talked to afterward. If you are a scent wearer because you just really like them, keep it subtle. That means the kind where a person has to be in close proximity to you to detect that you have a scent, and then still it's not overpowering even then. Okay, be careful with those because sometimes, people have allergies and all other kinds of stuff. So be careful with that. You all did really good with that, by the way. So when the career fair happens and I'm walking around talking to recruiters, because I'm going to be doing the same thing I'm telling you to do on behalf of all the people who come into my office after the career fair is over. But I'm going to be doing the same thing I'm telling you to do. I'm going to be collecting information. I'm going to be meeting recruiters just like you. If you've been in my office here, you've seen I got a binder about this thick of people that I've met, what kind of jobs they have. So I want you to start collecting that kind of stuff so you know who you're sending your documents to. All right, practice the elevator speech. This one you got to be careful with. First of all, does everybody know what the elevator speech is? Okay, let me briefly go over that. The elevator speech is a networking tool, and it's what you say. So it's what you say when you're first meeting someone in any type of networking situation. So it could be at the career fair, it could be at the grocery store when somebody says, "So you're a senior?" Well, what's the plan? Networking tool. Why? It might trigger them to give you a contact to somebody you need to talk to. All right, so how does that go? Now this is the mistake some people make that I don't want you to make. The mistake that some people make is they think they must create an elevator speech / 30-second commercial that they then must memorize and say it verbatim, just like that, every time they engage someone talking about professional stuff. That's not what I want you to do. Why? Because most people, when they do it, they sound rehearsed. And the other reason why I don't want you to do it is, say you forgot part of it. Now, if you rehearsed it and you forget part of it, then you're gonna be stuck. Or you're gonna start looking awkward when you forgot one of the words. And then you'll be like somebody in a play or something, they forgot okay, wait a minute, let me start over. You don't wanna do that kind of thing. So what kinds of things should you say in an elevator speech? What's the first thing you should say?
Your name.
Yeah, somebody say it. Like you should say it.
Hi, my name is Savannah Skinner.
Yes, just like that. All right? Everybody in here can do that, right? Right? Okay, look at somebody and say it. Ready, set, go. Thank you. Right, get the last name on there. First and last. Did everybody say it to somebody?
I didn't say it to you.
I know. What's your name?
I'm Derek Heish.
Thank you. Yeah. So, did you say it to somebody? Okay. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. So everybody pass that part. Next part. What do you say after you say that? So all of you did that part really well. What do you say after you say your name? You could say something like that. So what would you say?
I am looking for a position in digital forensics as a digital forensic.
Okay. So now put that with the first sentence.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm looking for a position as a digital forensic analyst.
Shall we give her a thumbs up? Awesome. Really good. Yes, that's the kind of thing you could say. What's something else you could say? Say what? Yeah, you could say that. Let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Boyce, and I'm studying sociology.
Where? Always put, well, then they'll hear. Here they'll know. But if we're not at SAM and you're using it, then you put where you're studying it. Yeah, okay? So those are two things you could say. You could say, hello, your name is, and something that you're interested in. Hello, my name is, what you're studying. Anything else you think you could say in this little elevator speech?
Any relevant experience you have?
Such as,
Hi, I'm Dalton Cook. I'm looking for a position as an assistant in a courtroom, and I have worked in these fields before.
okay, you could say that. I'd be more specific. So yes, you could say, yes, you're looking for that. I have some experience doing that with, and
Such and such courthouse in Summer, Texas.
yeah, you could say that, okay? Things that are gonna be pertinent. Another thing you could do after you say your name, if for some reason none of that worked for you, you could ask a question instead. So what's the example of a question you could ask?
What positions they are able to fill at the moment?
Okay, so what does that sound like?
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I was wondering what job offers your company currently has.
Okay, you could say something like that. Any other ideas in terms of questions? Okay, remember when we first started and it was something I told you could ask about at the career fair? Yes, you could ask that question. Somebody, let's hear that one.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Boyce, and I was wondering if your company had any internships open?
Yes. All of those, none of those sound super complicated, do they? All of you can do those, or multiple of those. So that's how you put the speech together. It's supposed to be short. So we've got, hi, my name is, I'm looking to get a job in digital forensics. I'm currently attending Sam Houston State University. And I was wondering if your organization offers any internships. Okay? That sounds pretty good. I think everybody can do it, right? Or anything that you are interested in having to do with that particular employer. That's what you could do there. So that's what the speech is. You all passed. If I was grading, everybody get a pretty good grade on that, okay? Fantastic. All right, so find out before you go who's coming. That's something you want to do before you go. Find out who's coming. Typically at the CJ Career Fair, there are quite a few organizations there. You might only have limited time. Some people will tell me, oh, I didn't go to the career fair because I had class. I'm like, you had class from 10 to 3? Well, maybe not, okay? But you know, maybe you only had an hour. You have an hour or something like that. So you want to find out before you go who's going to be there. Because when you look at that list of who's going to be there, some of those names are going to pop out and talk to you, and you're going to say, oh, I want to talk to them. So you're going to make a list of who those people are so that you can look specifically for those people first in case you don't get around to the other people. Okay? All right, so you're going to do that. And you're going to, while you're researching who's going to be there, you're going to look them up on the internet to see if it's something you want to ask about. So I'll give you an example of something that went kind of wrong at a career fair with somebody. They walked up to somebody from one of the law enforcement agencies. They did their little elevator speech, and then they asked, so what do you all do? That didn't go good, because the recruiters responded, in such a way that let them know that's something you should have known about. And if you've done your homework, you will. Okay, because remember, you're trying to make the impression, that positive first impression, that you're polished, you communicate really well, you're a great candidate, you look the part, you talk the part, okay? And so that's part of that complete image that you're the one. So do your research. You can even jot down some questions you want to make sure you ask particular employers. All right. You're gonna, before you go, want to have your resume together because some employers will ask for it. Others will say, shoot it to me in an email. Either way, it needs to be ready because when they say shoot it to me in an email, they don't mean 2 or 3 weeks from now. What happens if you wait 2, 3 weeks, a month from when they asked you to send it to them? What happens then? Say what? Yeah, they might have forgot who you are. The position might already be filled. Exactly. So they mean, you know, shoot me your resume while I still remember who you are. It can actually recommend you to somebody. Okay? So don't drag your feet on that one. Have it critiqued first. So I'm going to be staying a little bit today to look at people who brought one. But if you can't do it today, then come to my office. You can schedule time to see me on Campus Connect. So do one of those so somebody would have looked at it before you go. Okay, put it in a little folder, a portfolio, something that looks the part. Remember, total image, yes.
Something like this work?
Yes, thank you very much. Hold it up high. Yeah, it can be something like that. Okay. If you don't have that, it can be a folder. Yeah.
How many resumes do you think we should bring with us to a career fair?
I would probably take at least 10. Oh, did we get that question on the thing? Did that pick him up?
Repeat it.
Okay. Yeah, we did have a mic. Oh, there it is. Hand him that mic so he can ask that question.
How many,
Yes.
okay. How many resumes do you think we should bring with us to a career fair?
Very good. Okay, so if it were me, I would have at least 10. Remember, there's going to be 3-4 times that many recruiters there. So at least 10 bring with you. Okay? All right. And you're putting them in the portfolio so they stay nice, crisp, not wrinkled, all of that. You want to look the part all the way, from the time they first see you coming from across the room till the time they see you walk out the door. You want to look the part. All right. Yes, question.
What is relevant information to put on your resume when you're somebody who's younger, like not graduating yet, and you don't even entirely know what you're looking for?
Okay, that's an excellent question. All right. This is the abbreviated answer to that, because that's one of those in my office kinds of things. But this is the relevant stuff. First, I want you to think about what skills do you have? Think about what skills you have that any employer could use. So, for instance, does somebody in here communicate well? Any of those communicate wellers in here? Okay, wonderful. So, if you know you communicate well, guess what's one of the things you should be talking about in your resume? That's a relevant skill. Something else. If you're bilingual, most definitely in Texas, my goodness. Yeah, so yes, so that should be on there somewhere where they can easily see it. Excuse me. What's something else that transfers well? Because this is where people start getting stuck, yeah.
Any certifications?
Yes, if you possess any certifications. Even if it's something like, I am a certified lifeguard. In criminal justice, that could be life-saving, okay? I'm CPR certified. You know, I'm Red Cross certified, first aid certified. I'm Microsoft certified. Any kind of certified that you are, yes, that's a relevant skill, okay? What's some other relevant skills?
Do you recommend including relevant courses that you have taken at university?
Say that again to the mic.
Do you recommend including relevant courses that you have taken at your university?
Okay, this is a maybe, and I'll qualify that. You're gonna mention, okay, so some people may not have a job and haven't ever had one, which I don't recommend. Some people have done a lot of volunteer work, which is still good. You can still put that on your resume because you're still using the kinds of skills we've been talking about. Some people have a variety of jobs they can list. So if you're one of those people who has a variety of jobs that they can list and a variety of skills that they possess, you don't necessarily have to put the classes on your resume because you got enough experience stuff. Remember how we talked about experience a little while ago? You've got enough experience stuff to go on your resume to keep the employer motivated in talking to you. But in cases where you don't, that's where we use some of those courses as filler so that the page doesn't look like it's got a bunch of white on it. What's the subliminal message that you send if your resume has a whole bunch of white space? Yes, that this person hasn't done anything. So that's not the message we're trying to send. So yes, you can use that. But don't put more than 4, you know. No, we're not asking your transcript, okay? And we want them not to be introductory level classes, okay? We mean things like 3,000 level and higher kind of classes. That's the kind of thing, because now we're talking the meat of the major instead of the, you know, appetizer. Okay. All righty. So you understand better what I'm talking about? All right. So think of all those things that you do that almost any employer could. I'm highly organized, very motivated, self-disciplined. I can work without supervision. I get along great with people. I have leadership experience, all that kind of thing, okay? And this is what employers want. So here's a list of what employers say they're looking for out of college graduates. Take a picture of that if you need to. If not, come by my office and I do have handouts of that. But so if your resume is not talking about those things, it should be. And this is in rank order of what they say they want. So what's number 1 on there? What kind of communication? Written. So now this is some of the things I experience when I look at people's resumes. People will tell me or put on their resume, great oral and written communication skills. That'll be on the resume. Now that's fine to put on there because we know employers are looking for that. And then I see all kinds of grammatical errors within their resume. I'll see varying size fonts on their resume. I'll see the margins are, they're not matching. I could tell they cut and paste their resume and all of it didn't cut and paste right. I will see words that are being used incorrectly. All of those things speak to, now we're talking about criminal justice most of the time here, but all of those things speak to, well, how good are your written communication skills, number 1, and number 2, how detail-oriented are you? All my people want to be some kind of investigator. How detail-oriented are you and you didn't notice you spelled that word wrong? Okay? So be careful with that. It's sought after, and the people in the medical profession, people tell me, hey, we look at that to screen people out because, you know, we can't afford people who overlook small details. And really, law enforcement can't afford people who overlook small details. All right, your resume is marketing you. It's your spokesperson that represents your brand when you're nowhere to be found. So all of that's important. So if you possess any of those skills up there and you're not talking about them in your resume, you're selling yourself short. If you're writing a federal resume, take a picture of that link so you can read the how-to do that. Because federal resumes they're very extensive. They're not like most resumes. And if you don't do them right, they won't call you at all. If you're unsure, you need help with a federal resume, make an appointment to see me. And bring the job post you're responding to. Because they're very specific about looking at what was listed in the job post and seeing it on your resume. If they don't see those things, they're going to toss it. You're going to prepare questions to ask, so you're going to that website, like I said before, jot down 2 or 3 things you want to talk to them about. Explore whether you have a particular qualification or not. That might be one of the things you want to ask the recruiter. Well, it says this, but will you accept this? Okay? The federals will probably say no. Now, when you get to the career fair, don't go in there with your backpack. Most of you will have one. We've got you covered on that because we've got like a coat check for your backpacks. We've got you covered on that. So don't walk in there with that. It takes away from the great look that we talked about that everybody's going to have. Take your portfolio in with you. There'll be plenty of ink pens there. Your purse, if you don't want to check it. And for all the gimmies, all the giveaways, we'll have a little bag you can take in with you to put all the freebies in. So no backpacks in the fair. Get the map, because there'll be a map on the registration table. Find the employers that you already wrote down you want to make sure you wanted to see. Find them on the map so you can go directly to them and speak to them first. Now, when you get to their table, look like you're interested. Okay? Don't do this. Don't get to the table and do this. Oh, they got free these, they got free that. Can I have one of these? And that. Okay, because then, now that's going to take away from that professional look you got. And you're going into, you know, poor student mode. Okay? So we want to get you out of poor student mode into professional. Okay? Highly competent professional. That's what you're going to walk in there looking like, and you're going to keep looking like that till you leave. So don't get overly caught up in the freebies until after you've spoken to the recruiter. Okay? Don't make it look like that. What if there's a line? Well, if there's a line, instead of, you know, fighting over the freebies, listen to what the recruiter is talking to the people in front of you about. Because that's another good source of what you could pick up and talk to the recruiter about when that person is gone and it's your turn. Oh, I noticed you were saying that you have internships in San Antonio for. When are those now I'm saying my part. When are those? Or could you tell me a little bit more about that? I thought that was really interesting. I couldn't hear everything you said, but so would you mind repeating some of the details? Something like that. So no, first of all, they know you were there gathering information, which is the professional thing to do. And if you forgot your elevator speech, you have something to talk about once you say, hello, my name is. Okay? All right, take a couple notes. If they're saying stuff you really found interesting, take a couple notes while you're there. Because when you ask for their business card, you're going to write the couple notes on the back of that business card so that when you write them to say, yes, I met you at the CJ Career Fair at Sam Houston State, you can remind them of some of what they were talking about in your communication to them and what they said back to you. All right, be courteous, respectful. Don't be there talking for 20, 30 minutes when we got a bunch of other people. All right? Don't monopolize their time. All right, now after the career fair is over, this is what you're going to do. Now it's time to get organized. You're going to take all of that stuff you got, separate the freebie stuff that, you know, you're just going to use from the contact stuff or the flyer thing that said what the jobs are, what the qualifications are, all that. You're going to organize that stuff in order of which ones you want to make sure you follow through with. So find somewhere to put that stuff so you can put your hands on it when it's time for you to send out all your apply for jobs instead of wondering what happened to it. If they said, you know, shoot me your resume, follow through quickly within a couple of days. Thank them or remind them, yes, when we met at the career fair, you asked if I would send a copy of my resume. I'm very interested in the position, want to make sure that I follow through. Some of the things that you mentioned that were particularly impressive were, and you can say what those things are, but that's what you're going to do. If you're qualified for a job, so I've had students when they go to the career fair that they're actually qualified and the employer is ready for them to apply. So if that's the case with you, and you're going to be graduating soon anyway, go ahead and apply. Because oftentimes the process is long. So even though you're applying in March, you know, this whole process for the interview or whatever, it might take a few months for that stuff to get going. So the earlier you can apply if you're qualified, the better. If you're not ready and they told you some things you probably need to do, maybe it was a class you didn't take. Maybe it's a minor you could pick up. Maybe it's, you know, some job experience you need to get. Then start preparing yourself to do that stuff so that you are qualified by the time you graduate. When you get the interview, schedule a mock interview with us in Career Services so we can help you interview well. There's the number up there. Well, now you can use Campus Connect. You can schedule appointments directly through Campus Connect. And, you know, we're here to support you. That's what we're here for today and every day. And, you know, you can schedule us through Campus Connect. You click on Student Resources. You'll find our link. I'm here in this building every Tuesday and Thursday. And the Monday and Wednesday, I'm in Career Services in Academic Building 4. Friday, I'm in the Woodlands. So you have a variety of places where you could see me. And our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, people. Don't try to get us to schedule you on the weekend because we won't do it. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, so this is the first of a series of workshops. The next series in the series is about internships, what you need to know about internships, and that one's happening on Monday. And then on Wednesday is the actual career fair. And then on Thursday, all the people who are interested in going into law enforcement, we're doing a workshop on how to fill out a law enforcement application. They are different than the typical employer application. The application that we're going to use is 60 pages long. So when I say they're thorough and they're long and they're specific, that's why we do the workshop. Because we've got people applying to jobs and they're getting disqualified in what the application actually looks like stage of this thing. And that's, that's really unfortunate because it doesn't have anything to do with whether you'd be a good person to hire or not. But remember what I said about that attention to detail? Can you follow directions? All of that is included in how you fill out this application. So that one is the day after the career fair. And then, yeah. 2. All of them are at 2. And all of them are in here, except the career fair. It's in LSC. All right, and then we got 2 others. One has to do with people who actually look at the resume. So I'm trying to get HR people here or people who do the interviews. So you can ask them questions directly about, hey, what are the do's and don'ts according to them, okay? And then the last workshop will be April 9th, and that is job search strategies. How do you network and look for a job? That's what that one's about. Okay? All right. So, if we don't have any other questions, I'm done with the presentation portion of this. Internet people, thank you for joining us. Everything I said about contacting us is true about you also. And for the people who brought resumes that they would like me to look at, that's what I'm going to do next. Thank you. Thank you very much.